Before we begin, I just want to say the blog will take priority over this. Hell, basically everything will take priority over this. This is basically just something I'm doing either to cover a topic I wanted to cover in an article but didn't get around to, or to tie up some loose ends regarding a person or video I mentioned in a blog post that I just never got around to tying up. With that said, those who read my article on Lolicon, link in the description, likely remember the name CarmenRider, a YouTuber who defends Lolicon as well as basically everything that could be considered pornography related. I mention this because today we'll be looking at her video, 3 Reasons Why You Shouldn't Prevent Porn, with porn being written in Las Vegas circle letters, of your OC's quick commentary. It's not a commentary, so I have no idea why she felt the need to include that. Also, don't call it a comeback. I never even laughed. Okay, hey, Ephraim in post here. I realized I forgot to introduce my avatar in that opening section. It's Rudy from the webcomic Rain. That's who I'm using. Man, the new Star Wars movies have really gone downhill. Really now, your video on pornography is going to discuss, quote, a topic of a sexual nature? Love the redundant wording, by the way. Who would have guessed? Also, this plus her intro, which I'll be skipping, equals half a minute of just various text screens before she even says a word. And the vast majority of them are in complete silence.
All right, let's see what you got, Fox. Oh, I bet that's a sea monster. Oh, that's not the movie. Yeah, I think I heard of them. Here we go. Movie! Well, now that seems intentionally misleading. All right, someone's coming to town. Oh, for crying out loud. Oh, all right, period movie. Oh, not a period movie. Oh, this guy's in trouble. Can't wait to hear his story. Oh, come on!
Well, I didn't expect to do an original topic this time, but here we are. So a while back, I made a tweet about how some people draw hentai of others' OCs. The tweet reads, Artist, hey, don't draw porn of my character. I'm gonna report you.
And it was said with angry faces, so you know it has to be wrong.
The character. And then it was the following image. Some notable examples include Sky, Sienna from PN Seymour, Wolfie Chew, and Jaden.
I just want to point out the hypothetical character that Carmen showed in her tweet to make this point had very big breasts. A trait only shared by one of the 4 characters she showed. Hell, 2 of the characters she showed have, objectively, pretty flat chests, all things considered.
I swear, the people who beg for their characters to not be looted have the most lootable features.
The fuck does lootable mean? Like, the ability to loot? What does it mean to loot something? For that matter, what makes a feature the most lootable, as you put it? As you mention later in the video, Rule 34 exists for a reason. Any feature could be lootable. Are there certain features that are more lootable than others? Lastly, the existence of features that are the most lootable implies the existence of features that are the least lootable. What those features are, I simply have no idea.
Sky is a small bratty weeb girl. That's fucking adorable.
You've masturbated to Whatamote before, haven't you?
You cannot tell me you don't want to put her tits around your dick. Wolfie Chew literally sexualizes herself in the thumbnails. And Jaden, well, she's funny, relatable, poofy hair, and all above, Asian.
Yup, you've definitely masturbated to Watamote before.
They're based on real people. And to that I say, the keyword being based on. It's not of the actual people. Pretty sure doing that would be impossible without deep faking them. Which is something I am against.
Why? Both deep faking and making pornographic art of self-insert OCs involve making pornographic images meant to resemble real-life people. To put this another way, deep faking is also only based on real people. As if that is the defining line now, I guess.
But now for the core of the video. 3 reasons why you shouldn't prevent porn of your OCs.
The calculations are on screen if anyone is curious, but we are over halfway done with this video, and we're finally at the title of the video. The core of the video, as CarmenRider put it. Oh, and by the way, of the 50% of the video we've seen so far, more than a quarter of it has been her intros. No, I'm still not over that.
Number 1. It's a form of appreciation.
You know, this point became a lot more confusing, specifically after I sat down and inserted a bunch of pictures of a guy from a webcomic I like, specifically to show appreciation towards that webcomic. And by the way, read Rain. It's really good. Like, really good. It's really funny. If you have any interest in reading about transgender people, read that comic. It is really good. But my point is, that is also a form of appreciation. And my question is, why can't people who just appreciate a certain character find other ways that the artist approves of?
Someone drawing porn of your character is an artist's way of showing that they appreciate your character. It's not easy to get someone up in art form, but you managed to do it. And that's just more bragging points for you.
I was originally going to give a couple of examples of pictures of pornographic art that, to put it simply, did not seem like they were made in appreciation, but Carmen herself then goes on to explain why this point is utterly nonsensical.
Number 2. It's inevitable.
You sure about that?
There's a reason Rule 34 exists.
I could make another joke about the fact that Carmen doesn't seem to have any porn based off of her OC, and don't get me wrong, that is pretty funny considering the context of the video. However, I also want to point something out, and that is that Rule 34.xxx itself, the website which quite literally brags about how much porn it has a terms of service and limits onto what you can post on it. To put it simply, even they say that just because you can do something doesn't mean you should.
Trying to stop it will only result in people making you look like an ass, and others making porn out of spite.
So, pornography of your OCs are a form of appreciation, unless you don't want people to make porn of your OCs, in which case they're doing it out of spite. Oh, and by the way, it's totally your fault. Am I the only one who sees a flaw with this reasoning?
Number 3. Free publicity. Porn is free publicity.
Okay, I've been dancing around this the entire video, but I'm just going to say it about this point because it's the one it's the most applicable to. This argument could also be used in favor of things like revenge porn or unconsensually filming and uploading a sexual encounter. After all, having your tits out on the internet, even if it's without your consent, is free publicity. Kim Kardashian got famous because of a sex tape, so I don't see why you're complaining. And what are these girls do porn women who were lied to, underpaid, and doxxed complaining about? They got free publicity. which is the only thing that actually matters to people like CarmenRider. Obviously, I'm not saying that CarmenRider agrees with things like this, but I do want to note there is a very similar strain of logic in both of these arguments that it's just nearly impossible to avoid pointing out. Carmen's logic is totally inconsistent and nonsensical and falls apart with even the slightest real world comparison because it's utter nonsense.
I've seen way too many artists try to say shit like, please don't draw porn in my characters. And frankly, I'm sick of seeing it.
Because boundaries are for pussies.
No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Am I saying you have to like it? No.
She's not saying that we have to like it, but she is saying that it's good and that people who make it are just showing their love for your product, and that if you dislike it, it's only going to cause it to become worse, and that it's your fault anyway for giving your character such lootable features. Still not entirely sure what that even means, but you aren't saying we have to like it. No, no, no. For the record, it's not as if there aren't creators who are fine with porn of their OCs. Why not just make pornography out of their OCs and leave the people who don't want porn of their OCs alone? We already have so much porn as it is. Is there really such a pressing need to make new porn out of characters who the creators do not want to see porn made out of? Well, I guess we all learned a valuable lesson today. What that lesson is, I'm going to be blunt, I'm not entirely sure. But we learned the hell out of it.